So you're sitting there playing COD and you're trying to do really good. You start shooting at people and then you keep losing every single gunfight. You shoot first, you lose. You shoot last, you lose. No matter what you do, you're not winning gunfights. And then you think, okay, this game is rigged, blah, blah, blah. You get mad, you get off. But in fact, it was probably you the whole time. And now let's get into some things as to why it probably was you and how you could actually fix these to play a lot better, start winning more gunfights, and just be a much more aware player. Guys, there's a lot of tips I could talk about today, but let's just go into some stuff and show you a few things right away on what you could do. So I'm here on terminal, and there's two reasons I'm on here, because I want to show you a few things first, and then I kind of want to go into some settings and show you that as well. But first, when you're on terminal, it's a great map actually to show you guys an example. Let's say I'm going to give you guys like 3 examples here. You're coming up the escalators. What a lot of people do is they come up and they just keep running, right? Don't do that. What I like to do when I come up the escalators is I like to pick a side to go to, and then I go on to the actual railing itself. I go on a little crouch position, and then I look this way to see if there's any enemies come in whatsoever. And the reason you want to do this is because, one, you got some protection here, so if someone is looking over here and you're a little lower, they won't see you. And then you peek up, they're going to see the top of your head. It's really good, and this way you can actually see if there's anybody sitting here waiting to shoot at you. That's not the only thing you want to do, right? This is only good for this map, it only works here, but there's a few things that you could do also. And what a lot of people do on terminal, they'll run out here and then they'll just sprint around this corner, which is just something you don't want to do, all right? And this goes for every single map. Instead of just sprinting out of this corner like a headless chicken, you see those little crosshairs, these little lines, and that dot in the center of my screen? Well, what you basically want to do is have that always pointed where you think an enemy might come from. So this right here, this little head glitch, as you're sprinting down, you want to have it pointed in that direction. So if someone pops up on the head glitch, you just stop and start shooting like that, and you'll be able to get them out. Now, I gotta clear my throat because I'm losing my voice. I'm sick. A lot of stuff's happening, but let's just move on. And then when you turn this corner, instead of just sprinting like this, because you're gonna get shot and die, go around the corner and just look like this, and kind of use that little crosshair to scan where you think enemies will actually be. So like there's a lot of people here a lot of times on a little head glitch and stuff, so have that ready and just go like that, and then ADS, if someone's there, you can start shooting him and then just start moving it. So there's a head glitch right here people like going on, so you could kind of scan it as you're turning and kind of just go like that all the way until you're over here, and this way you got the whole entire area scanned and you're ready to just ADS and shoot. Say there's someone on this seat right here just standing right there, for example, and you're scanning the area. The minute you turn, oh, there you go, you can just start shooting at him right away. So that's something a lot of people need to do. And then don't run with your dot pointed on the floor like this. A lot of people do that as well. Have it pointed upwards right here. See, there could be someone there. This way, the second you start ADSing, you're already on the enemy, and it just works out in your favor. And again, you could sprint around this corner, sure, but have it ready to go, so you could jump shot, do whatever you got to do. Have it pointed where you think enemies will be at most times. And a lot of people stay on this heady, a lot of people stay on the heady back there in the little terminal area. And this way you could just go like that and just go and shoot and do whatever you got to do. And I don't know why I called it the terminal area. It's the connector, my bad. I call this the terminal area, but anyways, yeah, you guys get it. That's basically it. Now there's a few settings that I want you guys to go into as well, and this is your controller settings, of course. And there's a few things that are going to help you here. Well, actually, let's get into a setting before we get into the controller setting, into the interface, because a lot of people don't think the interface is going to help you at all with accuracy, but it actually kind of does. All right, so there's a few things you guys could change here. One of them is the minimap, change it to square. That doesn't really matter, let's be honest. It doesn't help with your aim or anything like that, but your crosshair right here, you want to make this static. You don't want to have it on, you don't want to have it off. I'm not sure what the default is, it might be on, and this means that that little lines and that little dot is always moving as you're running and stuff. Do not turn that on. Have it on static. This way it's just flat, it doesn't move, and it's always going to be accurate, and it's always going to shoot people where you want to shoot them. And your center dot, you want to make this to the largest you possibly can, not larger and not default. This way, that little dot in the center of your screen is always visible. It's so easy to spot, and you could just kind of use it as a guide to go ahead and draw people easily. It's bigger than the blue dot when I ADS, which is crazy, but it works out really nicely. Now, there's a few things, like I said, in the controller settings that we could kind of go into and hopefully help us be a lot better in terms of accuracy, and one of them is, well, flipping your L2 and R2. Instead of shooting with these, you want to shoot with these. And if you're playing with a PS5 controller and you have haptics on, or the haptic feedback, where once you ADS and shoot, it kind of gives you feedback, like it's harder to press and stuff, and it feels like an actual trigger and stuff, turn that off. All right, you're going to be a lot faster if you just use L1 and R1. Your shots are going to come out a lot quicker. It's milliseconds quicker, but it takes milliseconds to die in COD. So make sure you guys are setting that to L1 and R1. It's going to be a lot better. Controller vibration, again, you're going to turn this off. Do not have that on. Completely useless. Your fingers vibrating, your whole hand is shaking in a gunfight, and that your thumb is moving with it and stuff, and you're just going to lose some accuracy. It's not worth it, again, in my opinion. Now, trigger effects, that's the haptics and stuff. Turn it off, right? Turn that off. And here's some important things. So your dead zone. My left stick, I have it at 0. My left stick max, I have it at 40. I keep my right stick either at 0 or 5. Currently, I put it back to 5. I told you guys in my last settings video to put it to 0. It doesn't feel that right. So I put it back to 5, and I'm just more used to this. But whatever you guys like for your right stick, go ahead and set it to what you guys like there. And the right stick max, you could set to 100 for sure. Now, setting it to 100 gives you full motion, full range of motion when you're in a gunfight and stuff, so that helps out a lot. Now, the left stick, this is good because it's just going to help you with movement. It's going to help you be a lot quicker, and it's just going to help overall with a lot of different things, and I would recommend setting that to 40. You'll be faster, you'll run around quicker, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's it for controller settings, but the next, in aiming, I want to show you guys as well. So I play horizontal stick sensitivity at 9 and vertical sensitivity at 10. I lowered this. I used to play at 12, 13, and I played at 14, 15, and the lower I put it, the better my accuracy is for some reason. Now, that's just me, so I'm not going to tell you guys to go ahead and lower your sensitivity. You guys might not like that. You guys might not play better with a lower sensitivity, but personally, I play with a 9 and 10. I find it fast enough. If I'm running this way here and there's an enemy behind me, I'll be able to turn just in time to shoot him. If I'm running this way and someone shoots me on the right, I could just stop, turn back, and do my thing. I can start shooting, I can do whatever I got to do, and it just works out in my favor, right? So that's my sensitivity. I'm comfortable with that, but if you guys want another sensitivity, definitely set it to what you're comfortable at as well. Now, the sensitivity multiplier, leave it all as is, and then I think that, yeah, the curve type, you want to set it to dynamic. I used to have this on standard, then linear. Dynamic just feels a lot more right. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. And then the most important one is the custom sensitivity per zoom. A lot of people don't turn this on. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't mess with this. I lowered mine again, and I'm just so much better again. I'm missing less and less shots with a lower sensitivity here. And this is when you're ADSing with a sight. So right now we have on this sight right here, the Jack glassless optic, and this one right here is a low zoom, right? So once I ADS, as you guys can see, I'm moving really, really fast. Once I ADS, I am slower. So if I do have to stay on target to an enemy, I'm not going to be like really hard to control where it's really, really fast and I can't glue onto him. This way here, I could glue onto the target, and the sensitivity being low is going to help, but the aim assist, because I play on controller, is going to kick in as well and just do a lot more of the work as well. So it's just, it pairs up nicely, all right? So definitely put that lower. I put mine at 85, 2 to 3 times zoom I put at 80, and the higher I go, the lower I actually put it. Like the snipers and stuff, I have 0.75 for all of those. Some snipers 0.80, and the reason for this is because once you zoom in more, your screen becomes less and less, and any movement you make is just huge. It's awful. So make sure you guys lower those. Now, I said I picked terminal for 2 reasons. The other reason is because I want to show you guys the map right here. And the map is pretty important. So let's look at it, and let's pretend we're running on this side right here. You always want to pick a side of the map rather than the center of the map, okay? So let's go right here. So let's say you're running on the side of the map. You're in this area here. Let's actually go to that area so you guys can visualize it a lot more. And I'm going to show you a few things. So we come to the side of the map. We're roughly here. And we just spawn, right? You just spawn right here. Here's where we're at. All right, so we look at the TAC map, and we're in this area. Basically, our back is completely open. Enemies could be there, but we just spawned here, so chances are they're not. But they could be anywhere out here, and they could be ahead of us. That's good, because now we know that there's 2 areas that they could be in. One is all the way out here. If they're up here in the plane and stuff, you got a lot of cover that you don't really need to worry. Just keep running, stop here if you have to, and engage if you want. I don't suggest engaging, just get out. But now you know that they're probably somewhere up here or all the way up here. So give it a nice little scan as you're running. You could even leave your crosshair down. You can even, whatever, do what you want to do. But just give it a scan, and then you know now that there's no enemies there. Then you run to this side of the map, and here's where it gets a little tricky. You want to stay on the side of the map, all right? You don't want to come out here. Once you come here, this is the center of the map, and this is every single map in the game. You do not want to go to the center, because now, let's say I'm standing here, and I get into a gunfight with a dude behind the counter. I might win the gunfight, but we got people here. And then we got people back here. We got people that could be here. We got people here. We got people that could be literally anywhere. So you don't want to be in the center of the map. Whereas if you go to the side of the map like this, if I'm here, well, chances are there's someone in front of me. I doubt someone's beside me. And if I spawned and came this way, I doubt anyone's behind me. So always stay to the sides of the maps. Don't go to the center of the maps. It's not worth it. Let's be honest. Oh, damn. That was good timing. Let's go. And now a few other things that I will say is when you actually do get into gunfights and you shoot first and all that kind of stuff, guys, you gotta focus where you want to aim every single gunfight. You just can't get into a gunfight blind, right? You want to get into that gunfight and you want to tell yourself, no matter how stupid this sounds, you want to tell yourself over and over again in your head, I'm going to shoot his chest, I'm going to shoot his chest, and just say it as you're engaged in a gunfight. And you're going to be telling yourself to do it. You're going to end up shooting at the chest. And the reason you want to shoot for the chest in COD is because it's the biggest part of the body and it's easiest target to hit, but it also does the second most amount of damage besides the head. But the good thing about shooting at the chest is that there is a lot of flinch in this game. So once the enemy starts shooting back at you, he's actually doing you a favor. He's actually going to help you win the gunfight. If you're shooting his chest, if he shoots back at you, your gun's going to flinch upwards, you're going to start hitting his head, and he's going to be pretty much killing himself by shooting back at you. So it works out like that as well. Now there's a few other things that we could talk about, and I'll just kind of go over them quickly because I don't want to prolong this video for no reason, but there's a few things you guys also got to kind of switch up in terms of your playstyle. So I would suggest, in all honesty, I would suggest playing with a lot of attachments that give sprint to fire speed, which is why a lot of my class setups, especially on the smaller maps and most of my SMGs, I try to put in as much sprint to fire as I possibly can, because the sprint to fire in this game is really bad. Let's be honest, it's slow, it's awful, you're going to die most of the time. If there's an enemy just standing behind the object and you're sprinting, you're going to die most of the time. It's not fun. So if you put your sprint to fire a lot faster on most of your weapons, you're giving yourself more of a chance to win those gunfights as well. So I would suggest doing that. Now, speaking of enemies hiding behind objects and stuff, you want to make yourself a very hard target to hit as well. It's going to help you win more gunfights. It's not going to help your accuracy per se, but it's going to make you a harder target to hit, so the enemy is going to have trouble actually sticking on target when shooting at you. So there's a few things you could do for this as well. One, you could put a lot of ADS movement speed attachments onto your guns. This way, when you're ADSing, you could strafe really, really fast left to right. So if you're in up close fights and stuff, you get ADS, the enemy's going to have trouble sticking onto you. I don't know what I was going to say there. And it just works out in your favor. Another thing is you want to use head glitches to your advantage. A lot of people sometimes ask me, what's a head glitch? Well, basically, at the most basic terms, a head glitch is when you hide behind an object where you can still see above it, but a pretty high object. You don't want to hide behind a little block on the floor. That's not going to work. You want to hide behind like a garbage can, a rock, a railing or something that's just going to hide most of your body, but you could still peek over it. And now it might not look on your screen like your whole body's hidden, but the enemy's going to have a very hard time shooting at you because all they're going to see is your forehead. Even though you see your gun pointed upwards and everything, they're just going to see your forehead, maybe the whole entire head, and you're just really hard to hit. If you start shooting at them and they could only shoot at your head, you're giving them a lot of flinch, they have a lot of recoil on the gun, they're just going to be bouncing all over the place. It's going to help you guys out really nicely. So hold some head glitches, do what I said, use those crosshairs to your advantage, guys, and hopefully you can be better players. Let me know what your KDs are down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick. Make sure to drop a like. I would appreciate that. Sub to the channel if those notifications turned on, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Gotta rest my voice. Peace.